This is Regina White Favors with Overcoming Lifetime Setback. And so today's discussion is about the idea or the fact that I have not had a break since 2006. 2006 actually marks the beginning of my correction period, where I made a decision back in 2000 to enter into an unequally yoked friendship. What happened was I struggled with my finances. I struggled to manage my finances. And so a lot of times, not too many, but I was late on my rent. Well, the landlord at the time when I lived in San Diego said that if I was late one more time, that I would have to leave. Now, this landlord, I wasn't under a specific lease. What it was a residential hotel in San Diego that I lived at. It was called Vantaggio Suites on State Street in Little Italy. And again, I just did not manage my money, or I made sure to cover everyone else and not myself. And so then I needed my rent, and then it just kind of snowballed after that. Well, I saw the image of that landlord saying what he said, and it moved me to fear. The landlord wasn't wrong. He wasn't in the wrong. I was in the wrong. So a friend of mine who we used to work together. It was a group of us, and we used to work together at a certain company and doing customer service, phone customer service. And so she offered her room. I was paying $650, and she offered her room at $275. And I thought to myself, well, I can save a lot of my money that I get from the school because I was in college at the time, and I can save a lot of my money while I'm in school. And so, yeah, why not? But I but the decision was fear based. It was fear based. And so, even though I had warnings from my mother, from another friend, and then from another person, I ignored the warnings. I decided to do what I was going to do anyway. And even though it was motivated by fear, I still used my own free will. So I went on ahead and moved into her room for 275, and within a very short time, and I mean literally within 3 months, something happened to my money. I didn't have any more money. It burned in my pocket. I struggled to pay rent there. I went from paying 650 to 275 and struggled paying 275. That tells me, of course, and you would know as well, that I wasn't supposed to be in that situation. And so it burned, and then I struggled to try to pay each month, and then the situation at the apartment just went sour. It went sour way before I could not pay. I think what happened with her situation, she's the one who needed money, and instead of just asking to borrow money from me, she decided to offer her room. But once she got back on her feet financially, she no longer needed me in that apartment. And then that's when her attitude changed. So I ended up moving out in August. I returned to the same place uh, where the landlord told me that if I couldn't pay, I would have to leave. I ended up returning. So I was able to get my apartment back. And then that happened in 2000. I graduated with my bachelor's in 2002. And then I went on ahead and did the master's and graduated in 2005. And so it looked like everything was going to go all right because I was teaching for a language school in California. And I hadn't really planned on moving back to Dallas, where I am now. And so that happened. And then somehow later, things began to just kind of unravel. I was struggling to find a job or to keep a job after graduation. So that meant that I was still struggling to pay my rent. And then eventually I had no other choice but to leave San Diego in 2006. I first tried to move to my brother's house in Atlanta, his apartment, and he sort of acted up. And then I ended up having to move back to my mother's place within the same year. And my correction journey, my judgment and correction journey began in 2006. So in 2006, there was still some issues with mom and family. But then I was able to get a teaching job with the community college district out here in Dallas from '07 to '08. And then life shut down in '08. So somewhere between June, July, and August, life shut down. And that's when I had to go through my process because I disobeyed God in 2000. It affected me, or it caught up with me in 2008. So the I haven't had a rest or break since 2006, in the sense that once that happened, there were parts of me that were parts of my experiences where I was homeless. Um, um, Living in your parents' house is homeless, contrary to what people say or think. And then things did not go well with my mother because it's always been a toxic situation. So I ended up having to go into the shelter. So back and forth with that situation. And life didn't really, I went through multiple shelters. Life didn't really get to some form of stability until I got into the Salvation Army, somewhere like 2013 April, I think. And then I ended up meeting the wrong person, actually doing this process. So any kind of romantic relationships you put on top of another type of instability, economic instability, financial instability, is always going to be a negative impact on your life. And so with that relationship, that lasted from 2013 to 2016. It was toxic. It was a rebound relationship where the person was using me as a rebound and couldn't let go of the ex. And then there was emotional, psychological turmoil. You know, you can almost lose your mind in that type of situation. And so I went on ahead and had to make a decision to resolve it by exiting the relationship altogether in February 2016. And so I was able to get back on with my college district because I didn't have a job between '08 and 2013. The college district had a all campus job fair, and I returned to the same campus that I started with back in 2007. So I was able to get on. And so then when you are trying to get back into a state of, financial stability, you need to keep your head down. You need to uh, do what you need to do. You do your job. You do what you need to do. And that was between 13 and 20. And then the pandemic hit. I ended up with one class, and then I didn't teach for 21. And then I was called back 2022 fall. And so then, when you're called back, you're teaching classes. It was a temporary full-time position. So between 22 and 24, it was just heavy duty teaching, and heavy duty planning for my businesses as well, um, that I started. So all of the books that I was writing, and then all of, of, of the business planning. And I say all of that to say that I have not had any rest since 2006. And no one really has the option or opportunity to like take a break, right, in a normal sense. But when you're life tired, it's one of those things that if you don't get somewhere and sit down and take a break and not engage in too many activities outside of the home and just kind of roam around your house and rest, if you don't, you're going to collapse. So for 2024, when I would usually teach in the summer, I decided I had to put my foot down. No, I was not going to pursue a full-time position again just yet, and that I was just going to teach in the summer and make do with whatever I got in terms of finances. And so this is me saying that I have not had a break since 2006. There's a healing part of the journey that I should have done back in 1998 that I didn't do. There's also other parts of my journey where um, I need to address some aspects of myself that need healing. That means, decision making, um, anything that is related to um, what I need to do going forward. Because in December 2024, I'm going to be 50 years old. And no one who is 50 years old wants to deal with certain types of life decisions uh, that can affect you, cause you to have a mental break, cause you to have a heart attack, cause you to have any type of financial downfall. No one wants to deal with that. So this is me. I learned back in my 40s um, that I felt my mortality. Now, in what will become my 50s, it's me sort of repairing and healing from some of those types of decisions that I made in my 20s and 30s. So, this is Overcoming Life Setback. I haven't had a rest or break since 2006. Please subscribe to the channel, Regina Y Favors. Um, View the videos, hit the notification bell. Also, you can visit my website, reginayfavors.com, for tips and resources. Thank you very much for listening.